welcome back to another Sims 4 building challenge. Today, I'm going to push myself a little bit further, hopefully. I'm on this weird quest that every time I hit a milestone, I do a tiny home for that number of subscribers. No, as in like not 19,000 subscribers equals 19,000 Sims. That's too much. But I always do tiny homes only. So what about a micro home? Of course, I've done a couple of micro homes in the past. This is not my first endeavor with those, but I never forced myself really to fit a certain amount of Sims in there. So today we're just going to test a couple of theories and actually visualize how small a micro home really is. One of my favorite things to do in The Sims is really push the boundaries of space and what your Sims can do. Maybe that idea kind of comes from the fact that I did grow up in a small apartment when I was little. So maybe the idea of like really forcing a lot of items into small cavities is really satisfying to me. Also, imagine like an Eastern European pack with tiny little compact apartments. Sims, get on to me. I can build those. Anyways, of course, to build yourself a tiny home, you do need the tiny living stuff pack. We're used to the 64 tile, but oh my god, today we're doing 32, which is literally a half. Ooh, that's gonna be bad. So let's just visualize what 32 tiles actually is. Oh my god, wait a second. That's already 42 tiles. Oh, this is 32 tiles. I was like, let's see how far we can take this. Sandra, that's as far as you can take it. But then I was like, oh, let's maybe try do 5 Sims next time. No, Sandra, these Sims are actually going to cry every single day of their life. Right, so we are building in Evergreen Harbor, which is the eco lifestyle world, which I always think the eco lifestyle world works really well with tiny living, but also love the way the flooring here is still broken. Do you see like the third dimension underneath the pavement? There is something down there. We do not want to know what's down there, but anyways, this is 32 tiles, guys. That is 32 tiles. And obviously there is ways to like create fake cavity. I keep saying the word cavity and I really don't like it. There is a cheat that you can do to take a wall and add it in and essentially create yourself a room, even though that's not a room. But I'm not going to be doing things like that. I don't really want to cheat. I want to try my best to create a space out of this. Of course, we are going to be using the outdoor space. That's not something I'm going to restrict myself to, but do we maybe want to create like a different shape with this? Maybe let's actually, you know what, forget about being restricted by a room. Let's figure out all that we know. So we know that we can create a 1x2 tiled toilet. Of course, we do 100% require move objects. If you wanted to do this with no cheats, oh my god, imagine. Why did I even say that? Now I have the idea to do a tiny home with no cheats. Oh my god, guys, let me know if you want that. I don't want that, but let me know if you want that. I'll do it. So we know that we can put a toilet as well as a shower together in one area and then the sink on the other side. And we know for a fact that that is going to be 100% functional. Unfortunately, the door then going into the center. Of course, I will be playtesting everything. So don't get too upset so far. If you think I'm doing something and you're like, no, that's not going to work. Usually I do playtest the things that I think won't work, but I've done this many times and 90% of the time it does work. Anyways, this is our 1x2 toilet. So that's what we need. Now, I did say I wanted 3 Sims involved in this scenario today. So the best thing obviously to do would be a bunk bed. Now, one of you guys gave me this idea the other day and I was looking at the comment and I was like, why did I never think of this? You told me that apparently if you take yourself a bunk bed, apparently you can put in a toddler bed underneath the bunk bed. Oh, it does seem to be like snapping directly underneath. Oh, I'm going to have to test that because that's 2 Sims already. And one of them is a toddler, even though I don't really like the idea of doing the toddlers. What about a bassinet? Yeah, you see, I don't think the bassinet will work because it doesn't seem to want to snap. Like I can potentially put it in myself underneath, which I mean, it would be amazing if it did work, but obviously my Sim is just going to glitch out. So that won't work. But toddler beds, obviously not this one. Wait a second. This crib seems to snap as well. And that's infants. Oh, guys, thank you for telling me this. This is amazing. You know what? You learn something new every day. Yeah, the bassinets don't work, which is kind of annoying because I wish I could like cram 4 babies underneath there. That would be a lot. Okay, so I actually got my Sim with a couple of toddlers in just for a minute, just so I can test this because this theory, guys, if this actually does work, I will be so happy. Okay, can you put Nadine to bed, please? Oh, wait, I don't think it's gonna work. Hold on a while. It's like giving me the last exception glitch. But can Nadine go into bed herself though. She does seem to want to. And then can you get into bed yourself? Oh, wait a second. Oh my god, it does work. Oh, you guys, this like literally opens up a brand new can of worms, I was gonna say, but that's not something I want to say. That is really, really good. And what if I put a wall around them though? Because I know that sometimes, okay, we're on a half tile, so that's not going to essentially work. But if I put them into like just say a small cramped space, kind of like this, will this still work though? Because I know that toddler went into the other side, but she's gonna get into this side too. Oh my god, yes, that's amazing. I'm obsessed. I'm honestly obsessed with that idea. Should I use that today? I mean, it would be kind of annoying because toddlers, they require a bath, don't they? And I don't really want to do that, so maybe let's not do that. Okay, get out of my house, please, everybody. Get out. I will keep this idea for future videos though, because I do think that that is very helpful. But for today, I suppose it would probably make more sense if we maybe do, I suppose, a bunk bed. Should I just do 3 regular Sims today instead of like doing kids and things like that? So why don't we do a room with a bunk bed, which is of course going to house 2 Sims for me already. And then I just need one more, which do I just do another like singular bedroom? I feel like there's a better way of doing this. I wish we had like triple bunk beds. I wish there was like another floor. I wish I could go up like higher. Imagine how fun that would be. I suppose a 3x3 room would be the smallest room I'd be able to fit 2 beds into, which I still feel like I'm wasting space unless I use the Murphy bed, which I don't really like Murphy beds purely because they do require a lot of space to actually open them up. And that is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily use them very often, because if you put it out, you have to have this space in front of it clear, which I mean in certain cases can work, but considering this is a 32 tile home, if I even wanted to put like a little table with some music on top of it, that already wouldn't work. So sometimes when I see like an open space in front of the Murphy bed, I kind of freak out a little bit because sometimes I do tend to put maybe like a little dining table really close to it. So I don't think I will do that for today's video. I think what I will do is I'll go back to the idea of the 3x3, which to me is already a lot of wasted tile, but look, that's fine. It's not going to be wasted. What if I do 2 bunk beds? So 1 and 2 this way. One of them, of course, having another person underneath, but underneath there, we could potentially just do like a little desk or something. I think that would be probably the best idea here. If I do a desk with a small little chair like so, which is a little squishy, I'm not gonna lie, it does look like it shouldn't be functional. What I also want to try and do is put some sort of a dresser here, which I think that maybe this one would potentially work here. I mean, it doesn't even look that squishy here if I do this one. Let me try and see whether that's actually even functional. Let me get my sim in here. It might not be functional, and that's totally fine. I mean, that's what I said. I'm here to push the boundaries of what the Sims can do. So can you... Okay, she did go into Cass. Okay, so she can get in behind the chair and she is changing her outfits, which does make this functional, of course. Now, can you sit down here for a second? Whoa, okay, so we've killed a lot of birds with just one singular stone is what I would like to say, guys. I think that's pretty good. And what if then I was to also put like a little bookshelf on top of that? Would you be able to grab a book from there? Because I know sometimes they can be a little iffy about them bookshelves. Oh, she's taken a book out, guys. Okay, what else can I cram into this one little room? Can you get rid of that book, please? I also obviously will do a little computer because I think that makes sense. Maybe a laptop for the space probably feels a little better. So we've got a source of reading, a laptop. What other small little activity can I fit in here? Didn't even check if that bed behind her is functional, but I'm just going to presume it is. I'm going to try and push these as far as I can into the wall. Of course, still checking that things are functional because I want to maybe cram something behind the bed. There is always room for different activities that your Sims could potentially force themselves to do. There could be a potential possibility of maybe putting a guitar in the back there. It does look a little weird. Like, why would you have a guitar just behind your bed? But I mean, if I can squeeze as many things as possible. Okay, no, she doesn't think that's functional. Okay, whatever, that's fine. Oh, I kind of like the idea of using that thing from Bathroom Kit. You know, I never really used that wall, but this wall maybe might be a nice little thing to just like put random clutter up there. there and make it seem like it's a little bit more functional. I could probably fit some bookcases there as well, which wouldn't even be a bad idea. Do you think that she'll think that this is functional? Oh wait, now she took it out of that bookcase. No, I don't want you to use this one. I want you to use this one, the one that's crammed into the wall. No, she doesn't think that's functional. What about if it's like right over here? No, she still doesn't. Okay, so nothing functional. I can go back there, but I still can do a lot of activities in this one room. I guess if I really wanted to, I could also put a TV up here, so maybe at least they can watch TV from up there. I guess that would be kind of cool. Can you sleep up there, please? Go up there and then actually wait now, stop sleeping. Can you just relax? And now can you watch TV from up there? You can. Okay, I actually think that's really cool. Why are you getting up though? Can you relax while you're watching TV? You can. Okay, she's just being weird. That's fine. Can you get into the bed down there and watch TV? You're kidding me. She's watching TV right from the bottom bunk, which, okay, that literally makes no sense because you cannot see the TV. You'd have to literally have your head like out the side peering out, but she doesn't think that it's a bad idea. She's still watching TV. Okay, I like to think that this room is now like extremely functional. It really reminds me of like small little dorms and little camps, and I'm very excited to maybe build something like that in the Adventure Awaits pack, like a squishy little like crafty camp or something. I think that idea would be really cool. But anyways, I'm glad with this. I think that this probably is the best thing I've built in some time. Actually, no, that's me getting ahead of myself. But look, she can go onto the laptop, she can read some books, she can watch TV. I think that's bizarre. That's crazy. Okay, get out of my house now. Please get out. Look after your toddlers out the back. So that leaves me with, well, 21 tiles still to use. That's not that bad. And we already have a toilet and all of the 3 Sims. I know they're all squished into one bedroom, but I mean, still, the fact that this is the way it is, I think is really good. Okay, I'm going to move this aside for 1 second. So obviously, this room would have to be kind of like either at the corner end of the house or else like at the top if we're going to do like an L shape. The easiest thing obviously would be to make like a container shipping home kind of vibe thing, which obviously would make sense. Now, there is also my one little tip that I always do with move objects, of course. I still do see comments from you guys saying that this is not functional, but I swear I do play test it every time, and maybe in certain games or maybe on certain PCs it just doesn't work. I'm not really sure, but as far as I'm aware, my sim can still make something. As long as she's got the induction board there, she should be able to prep on top of that. See, it does work. I know it's using move objects because you're not supposed to stack those two items on top of each other. They're meant to be separated, but for some reason in my game it just works. And I mean, for the sake of a tiny home, I don't think this is cheating too much. I mean, I just have move objects on. I didn't do anything else in particular, but I'm going to use that because honestly guys, I've got to use it. So okay, can you stop please? The only thing I need really for a kitchen is essentially this. Like, that's all you need, and that's pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that is amazing. We obviously need a bin, but I thought that the trash chute in the past worked amazingly as well because you don't need it to take up a floor tile. And sometimes, you know, when you have a bin on a floor tile, it can feel a little crammed. Obviously it's crammed because it's a tiny home, but you get the idea. So then I also would like the possibility of having maybe like a small little dining area. Well, of course, to begin, we have to have at least like a 2-seater couch. I tend to use this one quite a lot because it is so small. I mean, is there any smaller couches? Like, there's this one. This one's quite small too. This one's very small as well, even though I don't really like that one. But look how small the middle one is from the Hobbies pack. Maybe I could use one of these ones today. Yeah, maybe let's use like this one for a change. This one is also quite small. It could be quite nice to use maybe something like this today. So if I was to even close this space off, how many tiles is that already? 26. Okay, that's still not that bad, guys. I still have so many tiles to use, guys. This is fine. This is gonna be totally fine. I'm not too bothered. Well, I am bothered, but not that much. And that's already including the bathroom. So essentially, I have like so much room. Guys, I feel like I can try and do another video where I do 5 Sims. Like, this is essentially what we've got going on, and I don't think that's bad. Wait a second. I can even put like the kitchen. Okay, why am I doing everything in the dark like all the time? I know there are 3 Sims crammed inside there, but could you imagine if I actually put 4 Sims inside there? I think that would be ideal. Where did my induction board go? So this could be our kitchen, even though I feel like I'm wasting space over on this this side. So why don't I actually move this out that way? Oh, I don't think that'll be functional because of the door. But I could still make this kitchen functional like this, which that looks like, you know, we're really maximizing the space. And then I could put a little trash chute on that wall, or maybe even like this wall, so we can have like a nice window here. Guys, that is me maximizing the space as best as I can. Then I could have a nice little like TV setup over here, and next to it, even though there is a door right here, I could essentially do a small little bookcase. Do you know what the one I'm thinking about? This one, because this is super skinny and it literally fits on that half tile. So imagine if I do this. Maybe let's open it the other way. Like maybe let's do it this way. Squish it into this corner as best as we can. Have the couch just say like this. Okay, that does look a bit weird. Like I hate the way that's a smaller object and then the bigger one is next to it. That doesn't really make me very happy, actually. Do you know what? Squeeze that. I mean, let's get rid of that. Maybe there instead we would just have like a nice plant or something. I mean, I know that in The Sims the environment doesn't really matter, but I like the idea. Was it in like Sims 1 that you had to have like paintings and plants to make your Sims feel happy in a space? I kind of like that idea. I tend to always give myself that extra little bit of chaos by needing to add like a plant and a couple of nice paintings. Anyways, then we would have a massive big TV here, which is just amazing. So that's your sitting room and your kitchen covered already. I know I've done something like that in the past also, where I put a dining table under the TV. That also seems to work. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that idea. So we could do essentially something like this, and that's our sitting room as well as our dining room, our kitchen, and our bathroom, right? In like how many tiles? Like that's nothing. I think that's really good. Like look at the amount of space I have over here. If I could fit 4 Sims into a 3x3, essentially if I closed this off, I could do another 4 Sims, meaning that I could do 8 Sims in a 32 tile home, if you get what I mean. Guys, okay, I just realized how nasty that section is over there. Jesus. Whoa. Okay, that's disgusting. We don't want to live here. But look, isn't this amazing? Am I the only one that's shocked? Are you guys going to be like, Sandra, but why? And I'm like, I don't know why. But this honestly makes me think that I've like cheated the system somehow. Like this feels like more than 32 tiles. Like what am I supposed to do? I have too much room, guys. I have too much room. Okay, well maybe instead what we could do is today add a middle counter as well, like this. I mean, I know I don't have a sink, which is probably to a lot of people going to be like, but Sandra, you've no sink. I know, but we've got a sink in the bathroom. But essentially, if I do have the space, I guess why not use it? But now I feel like I should maybe move this space around this way again. So maybe let's do this. Open this space like that, right? Then move the trash chute to here. Can I somehow make this functional if I move the door over a little bit more so that I could fit a counter here? Now that is going to be really pushing. Sorry, I just hit my face off the microphone because I had to zoom in to see. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? I wonder, is this going to be functional? I would like to think that probably not, but let me get my sim in here and let me figure this out. Girl, do you want to come in here? I am going to just teleport you in here because I have no doors. Can you come in here? Okay, you can come in here, but can you wash your hands? No, you can't. Okay. What if I move the sink over a little bit? What if it's like this? Can you wash your hands now? No. I'm going to try this until you can. Okay, what about now? No, you can't. Okay, great. What if I just do this, but like push it back a bit? Girl, you should be able to. What? Why not? You should be able to wash your hands. You usually can. Okay. What's in your way? Okay, guys, I figured it out, even though it looks absolutely hideous and hilarious and it makes no sense. But just imagine that the door actually opens out into the kitchen rather than into the bathroom. Then essentially it would work, but it just does not make sense because like you wouldn't be able to open the door with the sink. But if you look at it, everything is functional and even the toilet is functional as far as I'm aware. Let me just triple check. Yes, it is. So everything in this bathroom is functional. What is wrong with my toddler? Okay, nothing is wrong with you. Just calm down for 2 seconds. So that way then, this looks like, okay, can you get out? Yes, you can. Oh yeah, so it does open that way. Okay, so that's perfect. So now we can have even a sink, like a proper sink for the bathroom, as well as oh my God, guys, we've got a fridge. We've got everything. Things are looking good. So now, like this is probably the most functional toilet. Sorry, it's not a toilet. Probably the most functional kitchen I've had in a while. Because can you just just like properly cook here now. Which counter are you going to pick actually? Are you going to pick the middle one in the back? Or are you going to pick the induction stove? What are you going to pick? I'm actually very interested to what she is going to prefer to. Okay, no, she is preferably by default going into an actual counter, even though I feel like that's more dangerous because I feel like that's like on the corner and I feel like she could just like flip the whole thing over and all of her salad will be on the floor. But look, this is still fully functional, I'd like to think. And we even have got a proper sink. So I don't even need to have a sink in the bathroom, but look, I've got everything. So everything seems to be exactly perfect. And we still have got so much room. This is actually insane. Okay, can you stop cooking? I'm actually over it. Thank you very much. Get out. So I think the idea of this little section over here is actually quite nice. So maybe we could keep everything like this, but I wonder, could I add a third chair? I know that does look a bit awkward, but having 3 chairs is probably going to be like the most ideal scenario because we've got 3 Sims living here. So maybe we should do that. And then instead, underneath, we could do another little bookcase. Or maybe, wait, now let's try not do a bookcase. Maybe let's do, is there any other kind of fun activity? Like I could put like a piano there. Well, that's a bit dramatic. Oh, with the new Adventure Awaits pack, do you know that little bicycle? Well, it's like a workout bike thing. That would be really fun to have like underneath here because you could still do like a fun little fitness idea inside the house. Can't wait for that, honestly. We could do like a little chess table. Is that a bit boring? Probably. I mean, look, it's a tiny home. You can just buy a book for all of the skills, but I always like to have like a fun activity or something for your sim to be able to take up their time and do. I guess the one thing I don't have is like a third seat for your sim to sit down, because if I'm prioritizing 3 seats for the dining table, I should have another little seat here, you know, like a couch for 3 people, I suppose. So why don't we maybe grab another little chair? I'm going to try my best not to use the poof. Oh, this chair is really fancy. Okay, that's really big though. I think that looks really awkward here. Okay, I really like this chair. I don't think I've ever used this. Unless I do a 3-seater couch, or is that going to be too much? Do you know what? That's actually not too bad. Isn't it wild how I'm doing like a 3-seater couch in a tiny home? Is this a 3-seater couch? This one's actually, do you know what? This one's really big. I find that this one is quite small actually, because this one could be like shoved all the way into the wall like this. And there does seem like there's a little bit of extra space there. I feel like even these chairs, I could get smaller ones. I want to like really maximize the space as much as possible. I don't know why I find that so like weirdly satisfying. I feel like these chairs are the smallest because if you think about it, if you put these ones on top of each other, I feel like that one pokes out a bit too much. Oh, this one's cool. Oh, wow. I actually really like this one. Wait, now, is that one? Oh, I really like these, even though I don't personally in real life like the idea of fabric on a dining chair because I would just drop my food if I'm eating and it would just make a whole big mess. But I do like the idea of it. I actually kind of like these ones too. But logically, I think these just feel the smallest. So then the TV can go kind of like in the center here. Look, I guess we will just do a bookcase. Oh, I like the idea of this one, but that one's obviously vertical, so that's not gonna work. I really can't wait for the day they make something like this, but without toddler books on top of it. I want just something normal. I could do this thing. That takes up only like a half a tile, but then again, this thing is even small. Yeah, no, look, this is just the elite item for cases like this, because like it's just so skinny and so small, and then next to it I could put like a lovely plant and stuff. It just feels like honestly the best option, and it is so annoying because I know I overuse that object tremendously, but like it just makes sense because it's so nice and skinny and you can put things on top of it. Oh, it's just the best, really. So like what I could do is I could shove like a camera on top of it like this. I could even do like the friendship bracelet thing. That gives you a lot of handiness skill really quickly. You can even stack like the cross stitching box on top of it. Okay, that is a bit much because it doesn't look very nice. I mean, I'd like to think that the nature press thing could also be put here. I mean, I don't like the way it doesn't snap. I know it's like a functional object in the sense that it has to be either snapped to the floor or onto the table, but maybe we could just shove it in there. It's like your sim can just pick it up and work with it from the inventory. Same with the camera actually, but I kind of like that idea. So we've got some bookcases, we've got a camera there, we've got a full-on dining room as well. This is not, am I missing something? We've got a kitchen, we've got a toilet, we've got an office space like underneath there. I mean, maybe I could have done a separate office space instead. That probably would have been nicer. I feel like, could I still fit an office space in here? Like a separate room for an office. Hold on a while. I feel like I can make this work. If I go back to the original idea of having just a 2-seater couch, just say, because like not everyone's going to sit there at the same time. Just say if I use this one, I could move my table. I can actually move it back underneath there, which would be a little silly. Or else I can move it here and just have like this as the main entrance to the door, to the house. And then I could essentially make something like this. Well, like, is that's a bit crammed. No, wait, I don't think I can make an office space unless I go back with the original idea of not having a sink in the kitchen, moving this over that way, having the couch like this. Just say we can even make like a smaller TV because we've already got one TV already in the bedroom. Am I just like hurting this house? I think I am. But I could then do something like this as a separate room and we could put this inside there instead. Can your sim even get in there? Actually, I'm not too sure, but that would be like a separate working space so that your sims don't have to be like all crammed in one room. And then I can even put the dresser underneath there so we've got like more kind of free flowing space. Like, what else can I put under a bunk bed? I always get very confused with what's like a norm to put underneath a bunk bed. Guys, give me any other feedback on what I can put underneath there, because I know you guys just taught me about the toddler bed, but I feel like maybe there are other things. Like, what about a piano underneath there, you know? Like, what about apothecary table? Like, is there something that I don't know about that maybe I could start using? Okay, obviously a piano won't snap underneath there because it's way too big. Like, imagine like a woodworking station. That would be so funny. But surely just like a regular dresser snaps underneath. And I could just have like nothing here, like a nice big window, just so it feels less crammed. But then again, this space then feels extremely crammed. Like, that could still be kind of fun. But then if that's the case, could I have made a separate bedroom? Imagine if I made 3 separate bedrooms in this house. Okay, I feel like this video is gonna be like extremely long of me just blabbering about what I can or cannot do. But I love the idea of just like trying different things and testing possibilities, really seeing what can be done, you know? I think that's really fun. Guys, look at what I just figured out. So if you do the bedroom this way, and I know it's clipping into the wall like tremendously, but if you do it that way, the beds are actually functional the other way around. So you could have a door on the bottom of the room. I mean, I'm just like shocked at this point at what I'm pushing the boundaries with. So essentially, just say if we're doing this again for just say like 5 sims, I could put another bunk bed underneath there, which we find another 4 sims. But then I could have like another maybe 1 sim inside like a smaller room like this. Oh, but if I shove that into the wall, I can actually keep the door on this side, and then I could make this room bigger. So then we literally have like a separate office space that I could actually maybe enter through the bedroom. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, there's so many doors here at this point, but I don't really like the idea of having the bed clipping into the wall that much. Maybe what I could do is to make it kind of seem realistic is we can make this wall wooden. I know you guys don't really like when things clip, and I don't either. I'm not a big fan of things clipping in through the walls, but maybe today we just play with that idea that it's just like a modular thing. Like, it's just like drilled into the wall like that, and it works, and I think I'm going to do it for today. I think that makes sense. One of my favorite, like absolute favorite new objects in The Sims that came with the Grange mudroom kit is this everything on display closet, because I know it just seems like nothing, but the fact that it's so tall, it acts as a closet obviously, so like your sims can get dressed in it, but it also has 3 different shelves to put 3 different items on top of it. I think that's ideal because I could put my books on it, and I could also do like just say a source of music on top of it, and then also a decoration in the middle, because there doesn't seem to be a snapping point in the middle, which actually makes no sense. I don't know. Well, actually no, there is, but only for small objects, but whatever, that's fine. I can take that. But if you look at this, she should be able to get into this room now. She should be able to try on outfits, right? Which is just bizarre. Read a book. Yeah, perfect. And then also just turn on the music, and then like as she's doing something, listen to music. Don't think she can dance. Is she dancing? You can even dance. Oh my god, this is like the best hobby room I think I've ever done. And she should be able to just sit down here. Okay, stop dancing. Okay, it's enough. It's enough. Stop dancing. And then she should be able to sit down and still play a game on her computer. All of that in a 4-tile room. Like, I think that's really good because you're keeping as many of those like hobby type activity objects in one room so that your sims can focus on sleeping here. And technically, I don't even need to have a dresser inside the bedroom because this also acts as a dresser. So like on one tile, we've got music, we've got books, and we've also got a dresser. I think that's really good, guys. Dare I say that's really good. Then even underneath this bed, what I could do is I could have another like small little couch, because I know a regular couch will snap here, or even just like one singular seat. What about a seat and like a little table? Would that work? I don't think think so, because that's not snapping. She's gonna hate that. But we could have like a small little couch, so maybe your sim can just like chillax underneath, maybe like read a book. It's like one sim can just say be cooking, one sim could be sitting here watching TV, one sim can be like inside here just like working, studying, listening to music, and then one sim could just be reading a book on a little couch underneath. I think that's unreal, guys. I feel like I've just cracked the code. Well, not cracked the code, but I feel like I just created a very user-friendly space. I really love this, honestly. And I wonder, even if I was very stubborn, would I be able to also add this little thing inside here and make it functional? Now, it mightn't be. I don't know. I am about to test it out because that would be also ideal, because I just hate that tiny little gap. Now, she'll hate that probably, but let me just try it. Oh my God, it works! Wait, but surely the bed is not going to be functional. The bed is also functional, guys. So we've got 2 dressers. Are you kidding me? Wait, now what about this bed? Can you sit down inside there, please? Okay, she can sit down, but can you go to bed? Oh my God, I love this. This is so satisfying for some reason. I don't know why. So then just say up here, I can maybe put like a cross stitch thing. So maybe she could have that as like a fun little activity that your sim can do. I know I resorted back to this couch, but honestly, looking at the way this is, without alt key placement, I feel like this would be literally impossible. But let me just triple check that she can actually sit on these chairs and actually still enter the bathroom, because what's happening here with the bathroom door is a little bit much. Okay, but she can get through here. She can sit down on this chair, but can you go into the bathroom? Oh my gosh, she can. Even though that is like, that should be illegal, but it's working. Like, I mean, can you still wash your hands in the sink? Oh my God, she still can. Oh, wait a second. If I get rid of these 3 tiles, okay, that's 29 tiles. Add 3 tiles like this. I could shove the kitchen inside this way. Instead of this corner piece, I could just grab another piece. Essentially, she can cook as well as prep on top of the induction board, whatever that thing is called. Then we've also got a sink. I could technically still have a small little TV up on this wall. I mean, that's a bit squishy. Do I need the 3 chairs? Maybe I don't need the 3 chairs, because if I wouldn't need 3 chairs, then we could do this right here, this like over here. So that's like your little kitchen space. That's actually not a bad look either if we do that little space. I know you probably have to crack your neck to look up at the TV, but that does seem like a very cozy space to have to watch TV. We could do this. Oh, guys, do I prefer this? I feel like I do. Is this better? Now I can actually move the door kind of more into the center, so it's not impeding that as much. Because like logically, okay, sorry, she can't get in. When do Sims ever all eat at the same time? They never really do. Plus, half of the time, if someone's in there, they'll just go in there and sit on the bed and eat. Like, I just know that that's the way it's going to be, unfortunately. But look, this will still work, wouldn't it? That door is still in through that chair, but do I really care? Not really. Can you sit over here? You can. And now, can you prep me a garden salad? And then if you can, I'll actually cry. Oh my God, you can! Like, this is probably the most elite space. And I can even put something in there. Wait, now, I feel like I'm wasting this tile here. What's wrong with me? I'm like desperately trying to fit as many things as possible. What if I just add like a tiny little cushion? Can you stop cooking? Can you sit down on this? Because if that's the case, I could have 2 people here. One sitting down reading a book, and then the other one on the computer. So I can have 2 Sims at once here. One sim inside here, like cross stitching underneath the table or underneath the bed. Then 2 people sit. Oh my God, guys, I have loads of room. I have too much room, in fact. I could even do a little side door this way. So I can even go out to the back garden through this door. Okay, I know that toilet is like through that wall. But guys, this is crazy. So maybe let me put in like the doors and the windows and stuff, and we can kind of see what it feels like as an actual living space. Okay, guys, so this is what I've created so far. Just on the outside, I've done nothing on the inside of the house, which is so funny how I've just put all this effort into the outside and none into the inside. But look how cute this turned out. It just like, honestly, I was very overwhelmed with how gray and nasty, and well, it's not nasty, but it just looks boring, like this whole neighborhood. There's also a heat wave, so there's like weird glitches happening. Well, they're like the heat things happening in the distance, but I just thought that this area was so gloomy and dark, and then I just decided to make this really lovely kind of eco wooden feeling, really fresh house with some beautiful blue little solar panels. I actually really love the way this looks. I really hope everything everything is functional, like this little mailbox and stuff. But we've got like some area for gardening and a big back garden that we can put a nice bit of activities into in a minute as well. But I think it turned out really cute. I love this massive big kind of glass feature that I've put in here, even though it does really like mess up my lighting. But I think every room does feel quite light and breezy and airy is what I meant to say. But actually what I might do is I might replace this window with the open version of it, because I think the idea of letting like natural light but also air through into a little tiny home like this would be so important. So this one right here is going to be a really nice alternative to a regular window, just to suggest that we do open our windows. Maybe I'll actually also do it here as well. I just think the way this house looks like it's just such a lovely, like bright and airy and breezy house. That's why the idea of the open windows just really helped that narrative. I don't know what it is. I'm just really enjoying it. I think I'm going to squeeze this old bookshelf here as well. I've added some curtains here because honestly the lighting going through that glass window, it's lovely, nice and airy and breezy, but I could not see anything. So to actually be able to see the colors, I did this to suggest that obviously you can move the curtain around, and that's just the way they've done it at that particular time of day. But I think I'm also just going to add these bookcases here. I will obviously play test it to make sure that she can still get in here, but it looks like she probably should be able to get in there. So I want to make this space feel really kind of clean and new feeling. So I love the idea of like that beige. Is this rug a bit too small? I feel like it is, but the idea of just having a lovely light and beigey colors seems to just really fit the narrative quite well here. I'm just obsessed with homes like this. I think there's just something so nice about them, but also with how like nice and compact this house is just actually crazy. Like I'm obsessed. I don't know what to say. I feel like there is definitely something that I'm missing though, which I'm very interested to see what you guys think of what it is that I'm actually forgetting. Or is there something maybe that I should be adding into homes like this, but I always forget? I think I'm going to add that camera here as well, because I think an idea of the camera is a nice money making scheme as well. But maybe what I could also use is one of these pots up here, because these should fit up here. I know it's empty, but your sim should be able to go and plant something in there that should be functional. So I think over here we've got like, you know, obviously a means for reading and, you know, purchasing yourself a book for knowledge or any skill, but also we've got gardening and photography like all in this tiny little section over here, which I think is amazing. Over here is just a boring section, which is the kitchen, which I will do the kitchen and the bathroom off camera. Over here though, I'm like obsessed with this area and this little desk. We need more smaller desks like this. I suppose I'll just leave it white. Maybe should we go with the idea of orange and maybe go with this chair, even though that chair looks extremely uncomfortable? Or maybe like this thing actually. Oh wait, now maybe this one. I've never used this one before. I got a couple of packs recently, but then again it doesn't really fit that space. No, maybe this orange chair is actually quite fun here. Let me just maybe carry the same wooden theme throughout the whole house, but let's make this room quite like strong and bold. Should we add a bit of like yellow or something? I wish there was like an orange in this wall pattern. I think this wall pattern is really pretty, but more so orange than yellow. I want to work with that orange theme that I have. I guess I could do this. We could do it on those two walls. Oh wait, why don't we do a little bit of brick? Maybe that's just like a wallpaper, so it's not like actually real brick. I know there's a lot of places, actually I've seen homes in Poland do that, where they like buy this like stick on material and they put it up on the wall and it's literally just like fake, like it's wallpaper, and it even has like a little bit of embossed texture to make it seem like, oh yeah, no, this is actually brick, don't worry, it's all locally sourced brick, but it's actually just wallpaper. Maybe we have something like that here. Maybe that's quite interesting. So inside here, I don't think I can put anything that's really functional because it doesn't technically snap. Unless I find something really small, actually. Wait, now, yeah, friendship bracelets could actually work, which they are very handy. I know it's a bit silly having friendship bracelets here, but they do really help with your handiness skill. So dare I say, will I actually use it? And then I could just put like another little item, like this plant. Okay, actually, this plant can go here. I know that the friendship bracelet is like a really random thing to add there, but it does give you handiness, so maybe that could work. And then up above here, maybe I'll just do like a nice little painting and maybe like a light. Oh, this is a new painting. I haven't used this one yet. It's always fun adding like a kit every once in a while. Oh my god, these are beautiful. Maybe this one would match. Is there one with like a white frame? These shoes are kind of cool. They kind of match with the orange in the back. Like the white frame and the shoes. That's very cool. But yeah, it's nice every once in a while to get like a new kit, just to get inspired by something different. Actually, I hate that light because it changes the color of the frame. To make this room feel bigger, I'll just add a little mirror, which should be functional, but I also have a functional mirror over here. You may not believe that that mirror is as functional, but it actually is. I'm going to add a little bit of this color to wooden color through the bedroom. And honestly, I'm not going to add much into the bedroom because the bedroom already has a lot of stuff in it. I kind of want to make this feel like a nice airy and breathable space inside here. Maybe I'll just add some more paintings on this side. I'm actually also going to leave the saucer here because I don't want anything dangling from the ceiling. I feel like this space already has enough. So I feel like just a spotlight would actually be perfect here. And for the curtain, we just have one of those ones to pretend that we just like roll it back down. I think that makes a lot of sense. But I love that little space. I think it's so nice and cluttered and cute. For the bedroom recently, I'm actually obsessed with the idea of like a powder pink, and especially the one from Businesses and Hobbies. I think that fits here so nicely, and it also matches the really lovely swatch of this couch underneath. So maybe something like that is actually ideal here. But then I will do a nice little big curtain like this, just maybe slightly off, just to show that, yeah, we do actually close our curtains here because it would make sense. I mean, you'd want a nice little bit of privacy here too. So that does make a lot of sense. What I do love to do in spaces like this as well is add shelves. Now, 90% of the time, those shelves are not actually functional, which I'm not really expecting these to be functional either. But there is just something kind of nice about the idea of adding a little shelf above a bed, especially for bunk beds, because you don't have a bedside locker. So imagine having to like put your phone down somewhere, or like you want a glass of water. Like it would be very functional to have a little shelf above, even like that actually. That looks kind of cute. Above your bed. So I know I'm going to throw like a lovely little plant on top of it, but you get the idea. It's just to show that there is a possibility of having an alarm clock even. Like, how are you supposed to be woken up if you don't have anything, you know, a means of a shelf? A shelf is just a necessity in everyone's life. I also really want more like cluttery trays, like trays that just have random stuff on top of them to suggest that like Sims are like living here, you know, like decluttering themselves and leaving their stuff around. I think that is like so important. But it's not that important, but I like that idea of just like the realism of having your stuff, like, you know, because you go to sleep at someone's house and of course you're gonna like unpack your bag and just have like all your stuff everywhere. So I like that idea. But anyways, those things up there are obviously non-functional, which makes a lot of sense, but there's still that idea of like having items around and having that realism, even though obviously this house is like really like not realistic, but whatever. I'm also going to add that TV that we originally had here because it does seem to be functional, and I'm not gonna stop the idea of having more entertainment in a house like that. So I think that's okay. And I'll just add a small little rug inside here as well, just to add a little bit of like cozy vibes. But honestly, I think that's probably all that I will do. I mean, I could probably put something on those walls too, but there's already so much in here. And again, with the light, I think the saucer is more than likely going to be the best case scenario here. Unless actually, do you know what? Maybe in this case, it would be better to add like one of those ones if I make this a bit smaller, because it's more so like a diffused light. So you're not looking directly at like a really blinding sunbeam. Okay, that's our bedroom. I also love the idea of like the wooden shelf on like wooden vibes. So I want to just put more random things everywhere. But again, in a small house like that, having it slightly more cluttered, even though it's working really nicely with it being like a fresh, nice space, this also gives me that feeling of like it's realistic. These people obviously have to have their stuff somewhere. Maybe like we already read those books, so we don't need them. Controller? No. Oh, maybe these towels. I know that's also like a little weird, but like where would you even put like your random cloths that you need for the kitchen? You know, like it just makes sense. I love it. It's so cluttered, but it's also so like clean and tidy because there's like nothing over here, which obviously makes sense. There shouldn't be, because like what else would we put here? Maybe just like a small little plant in the corner, a little snake plant. Okay, there we go. That's cute. Okay, so I'm done the inside now, which it turned out quite cute. I've also added some clutter up here, which you can't really see, and I've added some music stuff, like a little MP3 player, what? A little speaker, so that you can hopefully listen to music from there as well. But yeah, we've got everything now, I think. So let's try and move outside for a second. I'm of course going to do a nice big dining table outside as well, because I mean, who's to stop me at this point? We might as well just have like a nice space. Maybe this area, this neighborhood, you know, just stays really nice and sunny all the time. Oh, maybe we could do this high table. Why not? Maybe we just kind of like to invite our friends over and this is where we seat them. I don't know. We just like being outside. Should I put my apples up there? Maybe in like the black swatch. Oh, that's kind of funky. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll put this little dude right here. So like close enough to the kitchen so that like when you're cooking, you've got some utensils and supplies, you can just like quickly nip back into the kitchen for them. But then maybe once you're done cooking, over on this side, we can try and shove my modular little couch over here. I mean, white would probably be the worst color to do outside, but maybe something like this, like a big enough version of it would be kind of interesting. But like that's where we kind of sit in the corner. We've got a small little table with a tray on top of it in the middle. You've guessed it. My tray has got to be here. I still have to put my lemon somewhere and then we'll be done. But we've got something like that over here. That plant is going to poke you in the eye, but it is just none of my business because thank God the Sims eyes don't get poked in this game. I really want like this textured rug. Although wait, now isn't there another rug that I recently got with a kit that's really, yeah, it's this one. Wait, now this one is like wicker vibes, but I feel like maybe it actually works better under the table instead. This is just like a weird shaped rug. I kind of need something more square, so maybe I was right with the first one. Yeah, I kind of prefer this one for this space in particular, but the other one is really nice too. Oh, that's so fun and cozy. I really like that. I'll move the table down a little bit just so that our space isn't too crammed feeling. And then over here, of course, we do need some activities because I know there's no kids here, but obviously like adults also need something to do. And instantly I'm thinking of an easel. But what else is there that I could do? I guess I never do things like archaeology, but like that's a very random hobby to have. Like obviously arts and crafts and painting is a little bit more feasible. Maybe I'll put down a guitar over here as well so that, you know, maybe that is something that we do. You know, sit down around the little tray with drinks and we play guitar. Maybe that's just something that we do. Like what else do I do? I guess woodworking table could be fun, but I do also have friendship making for handiness skills, so I don't want to repeat that skill. I guess we don't have anything for fitness, so what if I do a little punching bag here in the corner? Like you're practicing punching, so then if an intruder comes in through that gate, you're just like pow, you know, like it's just, it makes sense. It's logic really. Okay, so we could do, why did I pick that one actually? This one's so much nicer. I actually don't even know if this is going to be functional here because they do punch it quite strongly, so I feel like it's going to like push back and then hit the fence. Maybe I'll just do a nice little painting section in the corner. Screw it, let's do it. I hope you guys are delighted to see that I finally got this kit. I mean, it took me long enough to get this one, even though obviously as an artist this feels like the most ideal pack to get, but I just never got it. So it's really funny how only now I'm figuring out how beautiful these, like all of these objects are and everything. Oh my God, maybe we could put like some of these up here. Oh, these are fantastic. Oh guys, I mean, why would you have that outside? Obviously it would rain and all of your paints would just be destroyed, but maybe there's just something still so wholesome about the idea that, you know, maybe there's no seasons in this land, even though obviously seasons is like one of my favorite packs. Oh, I should probably do a build where I do like my favorite packs in a build, but like if it's seasons, because like seasons is not my favorite pack to build with, but it's one of my favorite packs to just like work with in general, so maybe that is something that I should do as a build. Oh, look at this. This is so nice. Honestly, this area is just so pretty. I love this kit. I can't believe I only just got it recently. It's insane. Maybe let's make things look a bit more worn. Oh, I love it. Also added another like little gardening section over here. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe this table would make more sense this way, and I can just move my gardening section down a little bit so that the painting isn't too close to it. But I like the idea of, you know, just like a couple of little pots, you know, maybe this is like your herb. I don't say herb, I say herb garden, but I think that's kind of cute. So you've got somewhere to sit, we've got somewhere to paint, we've got somewhere to punch bag, which I am going to play test that in a minute because I don't think that's going to be functional, and we've got somewhere to grill as well, which again I think I'm just going to move things around a little bit so things actually have a little bit more space to naturally free flow rather than just being crammed everywhere, because this outdoor space is actually quite big, so we don't really need to be too precious about our space. I mean, I love this light, don't get me wrong, this one that I'm holding right now, but it really just does not emit any light. My favorite one forever is going to be this one. Like that emits so much light, but it's such an ugly little piece. Unless I make it small. As if I make it kind of small and make it, yeah, maybe that's actually quite nice, because you know at nighttime it does really give you a nice bit of light, so you can punch that bag whenever you need to, you know, that kind of way. I think I'm happy enough with the way that this house is looking like. I really want to do like a tiny home or even a micro home where I have to add like a garage or maybe like a laundry room or a separate office space, just say like as in this instance. So that would be kind of interesting. So if you guys like that idea, please let me know. I think now, guys, we've got everything. So the last thing we've got to do is do a little tour, and I genuinely feel like I'm missing something. It's obviously small, but it's only 3 Sims, and I think I'm used to doing like 18 bloody the Sims at once, but I think this is actually quite cute, so let's do a tour. Well guys, welcome on into my 32 tile micro home for 3 Sims that has 2 separate bedrooms and a separate bathroom and a dining room inside as well. Like, could you even tell? I'm 100% doing 5 next time, or maybe even like, let's double it. Let's make it 6 or something like that, you know, without adding pets. Maybe we'll have to throw in a kid next time as well, you know, just so that it makes it a little bit harder, because I feel like I had a lot of fun doing this and I managed to make it really cute. Okay, so as you come in anyways, you've got some gardening over here as well. You've got your little mailbox, and as you first make your way through, you've got this little mirror. There's not much here because it's technically a hallway, but that's fine. We don't really care about that. Over here then we've got a nice little casual sitting room with a couple of items on that wall, really making the space feel like there's a lot of things, but there really isn't anything. We've also got a 2-table little seater dining table, and over here we've got a fully functional and fully equipped kitchen. Over here we've got a joke of a bathroom, but it does work. I made it quite dark and blue, which I don't know why I did that, but blue is the one last color I didn't use in this house, but whatever. Then over here we've got a first bed. Well, this is just the only bedroom, but the first room, which is, it's cluttered. It's a lot, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie, there is a lot here, but we've got a fully functional dresser, and this mirror is functional too. We've got beautiful little thing to do. Maybe we crocheted this whole chair. God knows what we really did, but we've got 3 beds here, which is a lot. But over here as well, we've got another little space, which is a really nice, I love this room. This is an office space. So in here you can dance to music, you can do friendship bracelets and get your handiness skill up, and you can read books, of course, by purchasing any skill book, which is obviously like elite. And then we've also got a little section here with a PC. Well, this is a laptop, which obviously can give us a lot of different things. And we also can have 2 Sims sitting in this one tiny little 4 square room at the same time. So in future videos, even if I had 6 Sims, to be able to already fit 2 in one room like this is really nice, because I always like to think about what are these Sims going to be doing all at the same time, you know. Yes, it's always nice to think that someone can also be outside, someone can just say be asleep, someone can be in the office. I like the idea of having your personal space somehow, one way or another. So this always just brings me that idea of these small apartments. Let me know if you'd like me to do maybe like a Polish themed apartment where I do an apartment complex with like all of these micro homes, and just say, because the way that apartments work obviously is that like the upper floor would have the same layout as the bottom floor, but why don't we do the same shape but different layouts in different apartments? I think that would be quite interesting as well. But anyways, then as we come outside, we of course have got a grill, we've got somewhere to sit, play some guitar, nice little outdoor table just in case that one wasn't enough for us, and we've got a beautiful art studio, which is just ridiculous stuff outside. But I mean, look, it's The Sims, it doesn't really make that much of a difference if it's inside or outside. And we've got some gardening. Now I'm itching to figure out whether this punching bag is working. It might not be, which is fine, we can move it if not, but she seems to be happy to punch it. Oh my god, I thought it actually wouldn't work, so I'm pleasantly surprised to see that that's gonna work. I'm gonna triple check that mirror because I am fully convinced that that is working. Yeah, that does seem to be working. Can you still dance in this room? That is something I want to check, because I did add that little poof, so she might not be able to. Oh my god, we can still dance, which is another skill that we can learn. Okay, I think that's unreal. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else I wanted to essentially play test other than this. So yeah guys, let me know if you like this idea, or maybe the idea of doing these as like an apartment complex. Maybe we could also do it in eco lifestyle, because this world came with apartment complexes. But I think homes like this, you know, not to say that all Polish apartments are this small, but the majority of them are quite small. And the house that we lived in, it was so tiny that maybe I could be inspired by the shape of that one, and then we can like stack them on top of each other and maybe create different types of layouts in each one. So let me know what you think of that idea, guys. As per usual, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe if you are enjoying my content like this. I love to get creative like that, but I also love hearing your feedback. So if there's anything you want me to maybe try with this concept or this idea or the idea of a micro home, please let me know it down in the comments. I would love to hear that. Again, as per usual, if you are going to be purchasing any packs, especially during the sale at the moment to save some monies, do consider popping in my name, Sandra Picca, at checkout, as that does help support my channel, as that is my EA creator code. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.